don't know if it's always been like that or if it just recently got like it. All of a sudden they don't feel loose and shit. Ugh.
You gotta get into the history.
Oh yeah. So we was talking about
the relationships between black people and Asians, and does Kmart have a point of it being cultural appropriation, or is he way out of bounds?
I think he's out of bounds. I think he's tripping. I think it was funny and it was ironic that he had Chinese tattoos.
Yeah, that's kind of.
That was the best part.
That's
kind of the situation.
Kind of made yourself look like Trump there. You know what I mean? Export all the Mexicans, and then you and your wife at a Mexican restaurant the same night.
Ordering tacos.
You contradicting yourself.
Let me get the quesadilla.
Right.
The quesadilla.
They like when you say it with the accent.
We're building a wall. We're building a wall. You guys, none of your cousins.
Disrespect.
He said they like when they say it with the accent.
Yeah, they do.
Hola, mi amigo. And then start building walls. The whole Jeremy Lin situation, I don't agree with Kenyon Martin, and I don't agree with Jeremy Lin. I think that
Ooh, you don't agree with Jeremy Lin either?
Nah.
Which part of that you don't agree with Jeremy Lin?
I like the way that he responded to it.
Yeah, he didn't want to smoke probably.
Yeah, he didn't want to smoke.
He didn't want to smoke, especially in this culture now with everything sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
He could have lashed back with something that 10 out of 10 people agree with you that Kenyon Martin may be wrong, but because of where we are as a people and what's going on in the world and like everything is like on pins and needles, he could have said the wrong thing and got the whole community to cancel him. Like, you're canceled now. We didn't even agree with Bull, but because of what you said, you're canceled. So he definitely handled that professionally. Like, you know, I think he treaded thin ice. You know what I'm saying? But
I think that so let me tap back into what the reason that Tanya brought it up to me in the first place is because from her perspective, she's an Hispanic woman.
Okay.
But she doesn't necessarily come off Hispanic when you meet her, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like she can.
I feel like you're typecasted.
Yeah.
Be careful.
What I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. Like people of color don't understand that this separation that we see with ourselves is really just
a facade.
Yeah.
It's a facade. I was about to piggyback off of that because for some reason, and this just through my life, maybe some of you experienced it too, but there's a separation of people of color on who believes they're people of color and who aren't. Like when they say people of color, they're talking about me and you. Yeah. But for some reason, you stand up on this side of the aisle, like they're talking about you. Like,
right.
You're a people of color too, and I think there's, especially with Spanish people, there's I don't know how many. It's not
Hispanic people. Hispanic. So the difference between Spanish. Yeah. The difference between saying Spanish and Hispanic. Spanish means you're from Spain. Yeah. Ultimately, if you're from Spain, you're white. You understand what I'm saying? Like you are on the same level as like a Caucasian at the end of the day. You're just a Spaniard. You're from Spain. The only thing that separates like the Europe countries like Spain, Italy, you know what I mean, Britain is the language barrier. Like they're all speaking different languages. So that's what makes them Italian because they speak Italian. That's what makes them Spanish because they speak Spanish. Like you know what I'm saying? That's what makes them English because they speak English. Those are those
Hispanic.
Hispanic means Hispanic means divulging from.
What I've seen, and I think I'm pretty sure a lot of people witnessed it, but there is a generation. I don't know if they're still on this earth. I know obviously as we get older, so do the older generations. But there was a generation that looked at us like niggas too, like oh, grandma told me I can't bring a nigga home. Right. And that was Hispanic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? but we're people of color. You know what I'm saying? And all it takes is a light inquiry on Google to do your research, and you'll see where everybody, it bottlenecks downward. When you start to see where people come from, you got all these different divisions of people, and then you start doing the history, and all of a sudden, it's not this wide no more. It's starting to go, oh, wait, you from, yeah, we, and you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I know I'm just jumping around, but like, it bottlenecks downward, and it comes from like one point at some point. Not gonna go all the way back there.
No, but that's exactly what I think. That's exactly how I agree. I think that it's a language barrier that people are more so definitive about than what a culture is. Like culture is an illusion. You understand what I'm saying? When you say something like culture appropriation or like racism versus like what they consider reverse racism.
Yeah,
which is that bothers me.
I don't know what reverse racism is. I don't. That's like how can I put this? Like I abuse my children, and then when they're big enough to fight back, I call it reverse abuse. You dig what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, okay, wait a minute. So this little guy that I was beating up his whole life, finally big enough and strong enough and witty enough to beat me up back. And I'm going to call it reverse abuse.
I love the way you explain that.
That's reverse abuse.
That's reverse racism.
Don't reverse abuse people.
That's what reverse racism is. Reverse abuse. It's like I'm giving you the abuse.
It's crazy.
That's a perfect way to explain it, honestly. Because, like, seriously, if you think about it, reverse racism is just stupid. Like, the idea, whoever came up with that name, you're an idiot, I'm sorry, and whoever is, like, signing on for this.
Feeding fuel into it, like, just fanning the fire.
You're an idiot, too. You are an idiot, too.
Reverse racism.
Go ahead and be more racist against yourself. You know what's funny about racism? It's a two-way street. You understand what I'm saying?
I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going.
It's a two-way street. Racism is thinking that your race or a race is superior to yours.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Or your race is superior to theirs.
You have to put that energy out there, and then someone has to submit to it.
And receive it. Yeah.
Exactly.
One day somebody accepted the fact that their race was beneath another race, and somebody has accepted it, said that their race is, you know what I'm saying, more superior than theirs.
Right.
You can't have somebody be racist.
Even with that definition of it, how do you reverse racism?
Yeah, how do you reverse it? How do you change?
You believe that your race was better than my race, and I accepted it. And then one day I woke up and said, no, that's not true. My race has a lot to offer. Actually, my race taught your race.
Reverse this now.
That's reverse racism. You guys got to stop doing that. You guys can't do that. I tell you, I compare the reaction to reverse racism. I compare that to the reaction somebody had to feel the first time there was like a fake field goal in the NFL. Mm-hmm. The first time they lined up for the field goal, bring your special teams out. You know what I mean? Everybody got it, and they was ready for the kick, and then they threw a pass. Hey, wait a minute, you can't do that. You can't do that.
We weren't ready for that. We weren't ready for you guys to just do that to us and shit. That's what reverse racism is.
That's the feeling.
So now I think when they say words like cultural appropriation, that is something that is for white people. That is for white folks. Like, let's be clear. The idea of culture, of what culture is and stuff like that, like, not to get too deep into the idea of culture, but those things, not today.
Yeah, because I want that to be a topic.
We gotta talk about culture.
We got a lot to talk about.
Culture does not exist. It's stupid. Not for us, at least. So that's something that somebody had to learn. You know what I'm saying? Culture is something that somebody had to learn.
You're getting into it.
Anyway. But cultural appropriation is, first off, the idea of, break down the words that you're talking about.
So appropriation.
The first word is cultural, and the other word is appropriation. So then it's the idea of making someone's culture appropriate for yours. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I've never met an Asian that didn't like, black culture. I've never met a black person that just despised Asian culture. I never met a Hispanic that just despised. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I've never met the people of color that I'm recollecting. I've never met somebody like I know a lot of Mexicans. The Mexicans love black culture. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I've never been in that.
Shout out to all the Blexicans out there.
Yeah.
Blexican.
The only people that have ever needed some type of like introduction or indoctrination to my what would be considered my culture has been white folks. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas like if I'm chilling with like my family is background Nigerian and African American at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, from the South. So it's like similarities on both sides of my family at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But if I take somebody from my American side of the family to a Nigerian party, it's not like they're like shell shocked. You know what I'm saying? And then it's the same thing that if I take somebody from Nigerian, there's certain things that you got to figure out, obviously. But you know what I mean? For the most part, you're like, oh, fufu, oh, this looks like dumplings.
I definitely bang with fufu.
You dig what I'm saying?
Nah, don't dig what I'm saying.
You
still owe me some.
I still owe you some, bro.
We ain't gonna need.
How you gonna put it
cut the footage. We gonna cut the man. Cut the fufu.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna make some fufu. I've been experimenting with some other food.
So boom, to cap it all off.
Go ahead.
Jeremy Lin gets the green light or the stoplight
for the dreads.
Yeah.
For the locks. Let that nigga wear locks.
Let him rock out with his locks. Kenyon Martin, you get to let that man live today. You know what I'm saying?
Kenyon Martin retarded for that. Sorry.
No disrespect,
but to tie back into what Tanya said, Tanya basically was saying the same thing I'm saying right now. Was just we have to kind of understand more what culture is. Like, you can't say that this is culture appropriation for people whose cultures we didn't never say nobody's culture was inappropriate in the first place. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
The people who definitively said like, oh yeah, your culture is inappropriate. We know who that was. It wasn't us.
Right.
I don't think nobody's culture is inappropriate in order for me to appropriate it. I cannot appropriate a culture if I felt like it. The only way to appropriate a culture
apply to him.
How the fuck does it apply? Like, the dude don't got no problem with it. If you go to Asia, you see people trying to like tan themselves and look black and stuff like that. Like,
not even though, they don't have to like that.
But I'm saying
you see dark.
I get that part. What I'm saying is on their behalf, that's not them appropriating a culture. If you see their ancient statues, they look just like the statues in Egypt. They look just like the statues in, you know what I'm saying, which we found in like South America, which we found in,
right.
You know what I'm saying, in South Africa even. So it's like, you're talking about those statue heads where it's like the same person that looks like black people.
Well, I was about to say, that's what I was saying to you off camera, which was they found statues of martial arts masters and stuff like that in Africa, the same ones that you find in Asia.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I was alluding to earlier about the cultures being closely knit. Whereas I'm not going to look at my brother like, oh, you can't wear an afro because we try to make the afro powerful. You can't do that if that's my brother. You know what I mean? If that's my brother, obviously we come from the same mother, so we can rock out the same way, or you can rock out different. I might come over there, and that even gets deeper with the whole martial arts joke that I made, because from what I read, and I don't know how historically accurate it was, but martial arts was brought to Asia. It didn't originate in Asia. It was brought into Asia.
If you look around Africa, you'll still see to this day, ancient practices that they consider like different tribes having. Like the Dinka tribe has their own style of fighting. Mandingos, everybody knows Mandingos, but I hate saying Mandingos now because of what popular culture made Mandingos. But at the end of the day, like, there's different styles of fighting.
Pause, Joe. You just said Mandingo.
You dig what I'm saying? That's the problem that I have with that, Joe. I don't like say Mandingo no more.
Look how powerful words are.
Words are powerful.
People don't even realize the power you give a word.
Yeah. So then when you're talking about certain things, like these culture variations, right? They don't exist because the person that put that box together was the person that didn't have culture in the first place. Does that make sense? Like, all right, so now
it's somebody listing everything.
Yeah.
That they're not pointing the finger at themselves, listening.
Mm-hmm.
They're
explaining something to themselves.
That's that. Yeah. They're trying to remember, okay, yeah, we're going to call that, and then we're going to call that over there, because that's not us, this isn't us, that's not. So at that point, you realize they're just listing everything, and then somehow, somewhere,
people accepted it.
People accepted the list.
Like the biggest thing to me, right? Like one of the biggest situation scenarios is the idea of Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
I think we talked about that a little bit.
Haiti and the Dominican Republic are so, like, they're little, man. And it's like you talking about they share one island, dog. And you telling me because these people, this side speaks French and this side speaks Spanish, that they're gonna go to war with each other? Like, and then never be able to, like, unify that whole situation and...
Shout out to Killer Mike. Kill your masters. In that situation, that's what they should... Kill your masters. It's not literal.
But that's a whole different problem. Haiti...
I think, and this is my interpretation of the Killer Mike statement, kill your masters. Mm-hmm. When you kill your masters, you can overcome an invisible boundary like that. When you share an island, but you have a different master, and I have a different master, and my master taught me this, and your master... Once you kill the masters, then we as people got to come together and realize, oh, we was together the whole time. Mm-hmm. It was our master's doctrine that kept us apart.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what I take away from with the whole kill your masters thing. Mm-hmm. That Killer Mike said. He might have a different message. Shout out again to Killer Mike.
No, but that's what people should have taken from it. You don't get the idea of the restrictions that somebody put into your mind. Like you thinking about your chains and stuff, like the physical restrictions, but you're not thinking about the mental restrictions that somebody puts into you. And then it's something that you pass down to your kids and pass down to your kids and pass down to their kids and pass down to their kids. Like, that's something that we really got to break. Brazil has the second biggest, the first country that has the most black people in the world is Nigeria. Guess what the second is? Brazil.
Oh, man. I'm betting 1,000 today, bro. I'm betting 1,000.
No,
I was on the money though, Brazil.
You was.
I was on the money. I knew it.
No hints involved. No hints involved. Like, no.
I knew it wasn't Pierre Cardin.
What I'm saying is, that's not something that's advertised to people. That's not something that people don't know Brazil for black people.
Right.
Because why? Because they speak Portuguese. They're black. Like, what makes a Dominican? I think it's funny when you meet a Dominican that everybody assumes is black.
Right.
Because we have this criteria for what we think black is.
Right.
You speak English, you black. You speak Spanish, you Hispanic. That doesn't make you black, or that doesn't make you
I think that's where you was. How many languages you speak? You speak like 6 languages. Yeah. So I used to always think that was amazing, and not the fact that you speak different languages, but the responses that some people give you. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? You got the Locs and everything. You're obviously black or African of African descent or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. People look at you when they already put you in a box, and then you come out speaking fluent Spanish. Mm-hmm. And they're like, wait, how can a dude with Locs speak Spanish? Like, that's
right.
Those things can't coexist. Like, that's crazy to think that those things can't coexist.
No, but people be thinking I'm Dominican and shit too, though.
But they automatically put you in the... Oh, if he's dark skinned
and then he's got Locs and he speaks Spanish,
he has to be Dominican. He has to be. What's up, my Dominican brother? How you doing? Like, you know.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola, primo. ¿Qué pasa, primo? Dominicans call each other primo all the goddamn time. That's my favorite.
Remember the slaughterhouse?
Which one? Oh, yeah. How Dominicans oh my God.
There's one Dominican dude early in the morning was talking like it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hola, primo. ¿Cómo está, primo?
And you had a really deep voice, though. So, like, in Spanish with the deep voice and that shit. I used to be like, yo, dog, shut the fuck up. But I appreciate it, though. You know what I'm saying? I spoke a little bit better Spanish back then than I do now.
I'm out of practice too.
It's one of those things.
You gotta practice.
You use it or you lose it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I'm like that with my father language. I suck at either. Like if I try to speak Edda, if I try to speak like pidgin is okay. Pidgin English, I can still speak that well. I didn't talk well. I did talk small. Nothing be well. And
you be pissing me off when you call me and the first thing you do is that shit.
Okay. Hey, what team?
I be on my phone Googling like,
what team you did?
Oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying though. I know exactly what I'm about to answer your question right now. I was doing something. I got
Make I go chop, please, bring me some. Maybe I go chop something.
I be like, yup. Yeah.
That just means I want some food, and I know Tierra cooked, nigga. What the fuck is going on?
And then I go through this internal battle where I feel like I gotta respond to you, even if I don't know how to speak it. If I use the accent but speak English, it'll be cool. It'll, like,
I'm right in the mix.
It never makes it off the drawing board though. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Like, I was about to do the accent and everything, but I didn't want to embarrass myself, man.